Hello, everyone. So this is part two of the equations series. So we're talking a little bit today about more in depth about equations. So we're building off last time. So if you haven't already, make sure to go check out part one. But today we're going to start off by talking about linear equations. So, a linear equation is the simplest form of equation. It has degree 1 and it has one or more variables. So it's in the form. So I'll go ahead and write this out. So it's in this form where A, B, and C and N are numbers, are numbers, and then we have the other ones. We have X, Y, and Z as variables. So, in a linear equation, the variables, as I said before, they're always to the first degree. They're never, as we talked about before, the exponent is never, like for example, if we have 3 squared, so it's never like that. It's not the 3 squared or anything. It's just the number itself. So it's always, and this is power 1. 3 is equal to 3 to the first power. So that's what we were talking about. So that's what a linear equation is. So the graph of a linear equation is always a straight line. So, for example, one of the most common ones, so you have here, so an example of a linear line is that. So it's a straight line. It never it never bends and doesn't have any endpoint. It just goes on forever, and it's a straight line. So let me give you some examples of what a linear equation looks like. So examples of that's an example of a linear equation. See, remember, as I said before, these are numbers, and then this is a variable. So, and then another example, and it follows the same right here. So it follows the same form right here. Ax plus by plus cz, and just right here, it follows the same um, thing there. So let's give another example. Okay, so we have this. So this is also that same form that we just. So this is also a linear equation. So to generalize this type of equation, we can say ax plus by is equal to cz. So this is a standard form of a linear equation. So this is pretty important. So this is a standard form. So make sure to remember that. So now we talked about last time, we talked how to solve a linear equation with one variable. So just quickly. So remember we isolated the variable. So the plus 4 is bothering the 6x. So we want to get rid of that. So we're adding 4. So the opposite would be subtracting 4. We do that, so we get 6x. This cancels out. Is equal to 28 minus 4 is 24. The 6 is bothering the x, and 6 is being multiplied to x. So let's divide that by 6. Let's divide both sides by 6. So that cancels out. We get x is equal to 24 divided by 6. And 24 divided by 6 is 4. So x is equal to 4. So that's just a little reminder on how to solve that. So, however, what if we have multiple variables? So let's go ahead and give an example here. So let's say we have 6x minus y is equal to negative 4. Then let's say we have another equation, y y minus 4 is equal to 5x. So there we could do one thing here. So let's work with this blue equation for now. Let's work with this bottom equation here. Um, so let's solve for y. So how do we solve for y? Remember, we always just isolate the variable, no matter what we're doing. If we want to solve for a variable, we just have to isolate for that. So the minus 4 is bothering me right now. So let's add 4 to both sides to get y alone. This cancels out, so we're left with y is equal to 5x plus 4. So now, what can we do? We can actually use something called substitution, and we could plug this in. We could plug this y equals 5x plus 4 into that red equation. So we'll have 6x minus 5x plus 4 is equal to negative 4. So now that simplifies to 6x, and remember we distribute this negative goes to both terms. So we get 6x minus 5x minus 4, which is equal to negative 4. So let's go ahead and simplify. So 6x minus 5x is x. Then minus 4 is equal to negative 4. The negative 4 is bothering the x, so we add 4. We can add 4 here. We get x is equal to 0. So now let's plug this back into one of the equations to find what x is now. So let's plug it into. Let's do the blue one. That looks a little bit easier. So we have y minus 4 is equal to 5x, and we know x is 0, so let's go ahead and plug that in. So we have y minus 4 is equal to 5 times 0, and 5 times 0 is 0, so we have y minus 4 is equal to 0, though negative 4 is bothering the y. So let's add 4, so we get y is equal to 4. So we know here, so we have x is equal to 0, and y is equal to 4. So that's our value, or we could rewrite that as, in coordinate form, 0, 4. So that's basically how to solve the linear equations with two with two different variables. So that's it for today. So this was just a little bit more of a little bit in-depth version of equations. So let's actually just show one more. So one more example. So let's go ahead. So x plus y is equal to sorry is equal to 4. Okay, so here another way to solve equations is to do what is called as we did, we just did substitution, but we have another way where we can solve a system of linear equations. So let's go ahead and do that. So how can we do this? So we basically think, so this is kind of like a puzzle, you could think of it as. So we have these two equations. So we want to solve, so we basically want to get rid of one of these equations. So we want to craft these equations so that we're able to get rid of one of the variables. So we want to either add or subtract the equations together so that one of the equations go away, allowing us to solve for the one of the equations. So here, if you can see, we have this. We have a plus y and minus y. So if we add plus y and minus y, that would just leave us with 0, right? So let's use that to our advantage. So let's plus y and minus y. So we could just, if we add those equations, that would allow us to cross those out. So we have x plus 2x. So x plus 2x is 3x. And as we said, plus y minus y is equal to 0. Is equal to 17 plus 4 is 21. So then we have 3x is equal to 21. We divide this by 3, divide this by 3 to isolate the variable. We get x is equal to 7. So let's go ahead and plug that into our original equation now. So we have 7 plus y is equal to 17. Let's go ahead and get rid of that 7 because it's bothering the y. So subtract 7, let's subtract 7. We get y is equal to 10, meaning our answer would be y is equal to 10 and x is equal to 7. So let's try one more. As you, so you can find out whichever way you want to do this. Oh, sorry. Let me go ahead and change that up just to make it a little bit prettier. So you could use, if you want to pause and try to work this out by yourself, you can do that. Or you can just work along with me. So you can choose either the system of linear equations way, or you can do substitution, whichever way you think is easiest. So I'll give you a second. You can pause now. But let's go ahead and start working. So we want to use, what I think would be easier here would be substitution. Since we already have this y is equal to, so we already have that defined. So let's just go ahead and plug that in. So we know y is equal to 3x minus 2, so let's plug that in here. So we have 3x minus 2 minus 4x is equal to 5. So then let's simplify that. So 3x minus 4x, that is equal to negative x. So negative 1x. Minus 2 is equal to 5. The minus 2 is bothering the x. So we have this. Let's add 2 to both sides. So we get negative x is equal to 7. So now we're almost done, but we have this negative here that is bothering that x. So think of it, you can think of this as just like multiplying by -1. So -1 times x, think of it like that, is equal to 7. So remember, the opposite of multiplying by a -1 would be dividing by -1. So let's divide by -1, divide by -1. So x would be equal to, remember this cancel out, that leaves positive x is equal to, and 7 divided by -1, as like 7 divided by 1, that's just 7. But since now we have this negative sign here, so that would make it, instead of positive 7, that would be x is equal to -7. So now that gives us our x value. So let's go ahead and plug that into the first equation. So we have y is equal to 3x, that was minus 2, I believe. Yep, 3x minus 2. So let's go ahead and plug that in. So we have y is equal to 3 times -7 minus 2. So we have y is equal to -21 minus 2, and y is equal to -23. So that is going to be it for today's video. So yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to go check out the previous part. And yep, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video. Bye.